Can Bitcoin reach 200K by the end of the 2025? That's the big question. That's what most of the people are wondering. But let's try to use the numbers and analysis, and in-depth analysis using the charts and a historical series in order to answer this question. So what we will use are three main methods. First of all, using exactly from this moment on into the previous cycle. So we will try to measure which is the kind of return on investment we can expect if something similar happens this time, close to what happened to December 2020. The second way is using the total market cap in order to predict which is the kind of expectation that we can have in the market into the next future. And the third method is about volatility. Because as we know, the market is volatile and it is usually following patterns. And if we are able to identify these patterns in order to understand could they repeat themselves, as you will understand, using these three methods, we will have a pretty clear overview if Bitcoin can reach this threshold or not by the end of 2025. So this is what we'll do together. So stay tuned, but let me say this channel is about educational content and nothing has to be intended as financial advice. If you want to invest in anything, that's fine, but do always your own research before. And don't forget to leave us a big thumbs up, drop a comment in the comment section. Let me know which is your forecast for the end of 2025. Will we reach or not 200K? That's the big point. So let's start immediately and let me share with you the chart because we will obviously use that in order to make our forecast. So let's start by using the first method. So let's identify where we were in December 2020. It was approximately at this point over here. And let's try to measure from this point to this point, which was the return on investment. As you can see, is about 3.7. So 3.7 from this point, it means that we could go up to 370K. This kind of forecast is with any probability too much. What we know is that the market is more resilient, so it recovers fast during the bear market. So from the bottom to the new high, it takes much shorter time. But the problem is that it's not anymore so explosive when it breaks the previous high. So in my opinion, at least 379, it will be too much. But at the same time, going from this number here, so 100K to 200K, it means just 2x. And it seems pretty reasonable according to this system. Let's try to use the second one and let's try to understand if we have confirmation or not. So let's take the chart of the total market cap. And as you can see from the chart, it seems that we have some kind of trend line that is showing us the path. And to be fair, it's more clear if instead of using a regular scale, we use a logarithmic one. So this is when we use the logarithmic, and let's check it out. As you can see, it is pretty precise. We had a top over here, we had another top over here, another one over here. So we could expect, if we draw a line by around October 2025, that is where we can expect around the next top. So around this level here. And guess what? We have a total market cap that could be around 11 trillion. Obviously, it doesn't mean that we'll reach that threshold. It just means that by using the previous historical series, we have this kind of area that we can identify as a target. We will discover just next year if it is right or not. If we go back and we check the BTCD, you will see that usually it bottoms here at about 38, 39, this kind of level. So if we go back here, so if we suppose that we reach this green box with a top at around 12 trillions as from this yellow line, we can measure the total market cap of Bitcoin at that level from approximately 30%, it will be about 3.6 trillion to 4.8 trillions. And guess what? If we use the current price, it means going from 1.7, 2.4 times more than the actual price. So it means reaching about 170K up to 240K. So also this estimate, it shows us that yes, reaching 200K by the end of 2025, it is not only possible, but it will be coherent to the kind of patterns that we have seen so far. Now, let's try to use the third method and try to use the volatility, the average volatility of the price of Bitcoin during the time. If we use this indicator, it is a volatility indicator, so it's simply measuring for each yearly candle, so for each year, which is the volatility for that candle. And as you can see, aside from 2010, 11, and 13, and also 17, that are literally outliers, if we just take the volatility from the previous cycle, is this one. So we can have, let's try just to draw a line. For example, this candle over here, it's about a volatility of 289. If we take this one that was in 2023, we had a volatility of about 166, while this year we have a volatility of about 140. But we have to take in account another thing, is that also what happened in 2020 is affected by the COVID crash, that inevitably it increased the level of volatility for that year. Otherwise, we very probably would have a lower volatility for the 2020 and probably a slightly higher volatility for 2021. This is just a hypothesis. What we know is that the volatility is going down. In order to reach 200K, what we need is approximately a volatility about 100%. And the question is it possible? Is it likely somehow? Well, according to these numbers, yes, it is absolutely possible, because we have this year 140. Having about 100, 110, 90% volatility in 2025, it will be perfectly normal and also, to be honest, expected. So if we take from here about 100K is about something like that, and supposing that at the beginning of the year we could have some kind of correction, maybe reaching about 25K, it could be reasonable. In that case, we would have a target price with 90K, so 90% volatility, of about 174. If we reach the volatility of 110%, we could reach the target of 200K. So guys, as you can understand, the target of 200K is much more realistic than what most of the people are thinking. And the main bias is that people are thinking that 200, 100K is a big number. Yes, it is a big number, but it doesn't mean that the price will stop. It means that the volatility will obviously be reduced, but aside from that, it still means that it can still keep growing, and in a moment or the other, it will reach 200K. According to this analysis, it shows us that 200K is, I'm not saying likely, but it's absolutely possible and coherent to what we have seen so far. Guys, let me know, what do you think about 200K by the end of 2025? Is it something that is possible or not in your opinion? Let me know it into the comment section. Guys, thank you for following me. Don't forget to leave us a big thumbs up and drop a comment to the comment section. That's a small effort for you, but really means a lot to me and also to other people who can find out this prediction, not just the kind of lottery predictions that we are seeing on social medias on these days. Guys, see you soon. Bye.